United States for many years. Nobody charged them 10 cents. No president had the courage to charge China for whatever reason. They didn't want to do it. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars. I put on tariffs on China when I got in first term. And we took in hundreds of billions of dollars. And then I did it again, but I did it for a lot of others. If you look at the stats, the deficit last month was cut in half. Everybody was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I think a lot of the people at this table were, because they saw the big
talks that are going on in London. The president saying that it's going very well.
Can you please send TOPROs to DOT and then just have them follow the main road all the way back to the building? We'll be releasing the hold on this vehicle.
Sheriff Ted Williams, former DC homicide detective and Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, thanks for your patience. Thanks for staying with us.
Beautiful downtown Sturgis.
Alex Villanueva, let me go to you first. You heard the president's comments on the way Governor Newsom has run the state, and your reaction to what you see happening on the ground there. Would these problems have been fixed by Governor Newsom if the National Guard had not been federalized?
Well, the fact is that local law enforcement refused to come to the aid of federal immigration officers who were under assault. That in of itself is extraordinary. It's the first time in the history, at my knowledge, here in California, that they have not come to the aid of a fellow law enforcement officer. Once that happened, they refused it. That forced actually Trump's hand. It forced the DHS's hand to request help from the next level up, which is the National Guard being federalized. Had local law enforcement done their job, come to their aid, they don't have a lot of resources because they're severely destaffed. They could have requested the National Guard at the state level through local, the sheriff, Luna, which he didn't do, and then it would be under local control. They would have solved the entire situation, but they were more concerned about the optics of local law enforcement coming to the aid of ICE than they were about the safety of ICE officers themselves. That's reprehensible.
And you make a great point. And Ted Williams, when you have local law enforcement that will not come to the aid of federal law enforcement, standing back and not protecting them while they're doing their duty, and their lead duty in this action is to round up people who have criminal deportation orders against them, who committed crimes in the city that they're trying to protect. Your thoughts?
Well, I listened to the chief of police there, Martha, last night, Jim McDonald, and he did say they did come to the aid of those federal agents, the National Guard, that were around the courthouse. Now, let's just step back. Trump ordered 2,000 National Guards into L.A. Only about 300 were in L.A., and they were guarding the federal buildings. The rioting was taking place out in the street, and the LAPD was on it. They were out there doing their damnedest to quell these riots. And when I listened to the chief of police last night, McDonald, he made representation that there are about 4 police departments surrounding LA that they can call in. So I don't know where we get.
I'll be clear, this paper served. He denied wanting to be transported anywhere, so he's just going to walk to his cousin's house on foot. I'll be clear, can you give me an IR for that protection order, sir, please?
30-minute period according to them.
It is 4236, 4236.
In LA.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you for your viewpoint on it as we watch the situation live in California this afternoon, Los Angeles.
HP45.
To both of you. So
1042, have a good night.
that he would, if needed, bring more National Guard troops to Los Angeles. As just pointed out by Ted Williams, about 300 came to aid this situation out of 2,000 that were designated, so a very light force compared to what had been authorized by the president. Tommy Lahren and Robert Wolf coming up later this hour. Hey, have you ever used Cheapo Air?
Yeah, for years, and I really like it. With Cheapo Air, you can book online, use their app, or even over the phone. They've got great prices on over 500 airlines and millions of accommodations. They are my go-to for travel planning. Oh, and if you join their Club Miles program, you can earn points to save on the cost of your travel. Book on the app, and you get double points.
Sounds like it's time I try Cheapo Air.
Call Cheapo Air at 855-292-7493 or visit cheapoair.com/serious.
You don't notice pain until it's all you notice. Every step, every reach, every restless night staring at the ceiling. But then,
Rapid HB204.
you step out of bed, bracing for the ache, but it isn't there. You reach for your coffee, expecting stiffness, but your hand moves freely. And when someone looks at you and says,
HB204.
"Nate?"
Good afternoon, I'll be 10-8 and 10-6 for vehicle maintenance.
You are really looking good.
This is Vibe, a pocket-sized device using PEMF therapy.
10 for good afternoon, 1335. HU136,
No
Rapid.
side effects, just frequencies that help your body remember how to feel good again. Feel the shift. Move freely. Experience Vibe. Visit trashthepills.com. Trashthepills.com.
At Sturgis Painters, we know that happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can really fit in this space to make your happy place your home. Sturgis Painters, that's painting happy.
HU136, Rapid.
Feels like home.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code SERIOUS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
You know, I know there are a lot of tax relief firms out there, so which one do you trust? Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity here. Now, there's a company that wants to help. Rush Tax Resolution. Now, they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people just like you. Now, one Rush Tax client, well, let's call him Frank, he owed over $1 million, and Rush Tax Resolution